Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Capricorn. If Capricorn is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, our card tonight is the Nine of Discs. And this has everything to do with gain. And so we have our tea leaves and we have a TT. And let's see what's going on here. If you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. Oh, look, it looks like TT with her tail up. You can see the legs, the body, and the tail. The tea leaves foretold this little menace to society here. Okay. All right. Oh, and we have a face right down here. We have the eyes, the nose, and kind of not the happiest face. Okay, so I want to start here. It looks like we have somebody coming through, and I wonder if this is somebody who has transitioned in your family or friends group. I feel like there's a big tie to baseball. We have a person, you can see the body, the foot, or the leg and the foot, the head, and they are holding kind of a baseball. Now there's a bird sitting on top of the baseball bat. And so to me, very evident that this is somebody coming through with a message, and maybe they played baseball or they were, a big baseball fan. And I feel like they were somebody who maybe even just before their passing, they were not in a great place, or maybe they were kind of melancholy, but as I'm looking at this, and I see right here we have it looks like a person who is kind of dancing and right in the middle, and it's hard to kind of see, but there is a piece right here, and it looks like a heart, okay? And so I look at this and I think it's like they're coming through to tell you that they are, they're so happy. There's a sense of freedom from their physical form. It almost seems like maybe as they got older, they got more and more ornery. And that had a lot to do with their physical limitations. They were probably somebody who was like really busy all the time, doing projects, doing kind of, physical labor or physically active, and something, maybe they had some kind of condition or just, aging in general. It really slowed them down, and that it felt like they were kind of trapped in this body that didn't match their mind, right? They were in their mind, they wanted to go, go, go. And so, I think that in their transition, it was maybe hard for those who were around them, and for them as well. But I think in this passing over, they have come into this place where it's like their body is renewed, right? Even though I don't know that they have like a physical body as we imagine, that we have physical bodies. But whatever it is, there is a sense of the pain being gone, the limitations are gone, and that they are so pleased in this. But they are also with you, right? They have not, taken off out into the cosmos too quickly. They're still with you. And I imagine like a home run, being like hit out way out there into the infinite. But no, they are here, and I think that you experience them. I almost wonder. Now we have a person here who is in the emotional sector, but right above their head there is a butterfly. And so I almost wonder if you experience them as a butterfly, right? When you see a butterfly, you think of them. I don't know, maybe that is your connection there. Or maybe they're telling you, when you see the butterfly, know that I am with you. Okay. So we also have a little angel here. That was a weird noise. TT. Oh, she's got the zoomies. She's got the zoomies. And then we have a bridge. Okay. And so I look at this and I think immediately, this is like there's been a bridge laid over troubled waters, right? You're getting through something that it was, it felt like it was kind of pulling you down. And I think that this has been something that was pretty recent. But I think that, there's been a refocus on the work. And I mean the actual physical work that you do, or in the physical world, the work that you do to create resources for yourself, or volunteer work, domestic work, whatever it is. You might be post work and retired or something like this, but I feel like you're getting back into things, right? And with that 9 of discs, we really do have this feeling of getting into some financial stability, having more options. Okay. And I think that this has really been kind of at the core of your worries and kind of anxieties, is that as whatever happened kind of took hold, it seems like maybe there was a bit of a financial strain, or at least the ability to work as much as you would like. And that worried you that you wouldn't have as many options for whatever it is that you're doing, right? Maybe, well, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate about that, but we all know how that kind of goes, right? So I feel like in this time coming up, there will be more work. There's the ability, the will, and the motivation to work, to create those resources. And so then, options are opening up. And I think that this really makes you happy. And the thing about Capricorn is, and I say this as an ascendant Capricorn, is that it's not about the money so much, I think, and I think a lot of Capricorn people are, I'm not going to say workaholics, but really like to be busy with the things that we are interested in. If we can find work that, aligns with our interests, and it's hard to pull us away. So I think, the money is definitely welcomed, but it's more about being able to do what we are interested in, what we're passionate about, what we, like to spend our time with. And also to have the ability to create more options for ourselves so we can do more of what we are passionate about, right? So, I think that getting back into this place definitely Definitely happy times. Speaking of happy times, TT found a box that is out. She's probably can hear her. She's rubbing her face on it. So we have a person standing here, and then we have the Ace of Discs. We have a large coin, okay? And then we also have an exclamation mark. So, you know, this really just kind of adds to my belief that you are coming into a place where maybe not only is the work back, you know, back to where you wanted it to be, but maybe, yeah, maybe there is a big payoff coming. You know, this might be that gold you're looking for this year. Now, that would be, you know, right on point with us going into the year of the dragon, how auspicious this time really is, the ability to create that flow of income or of resource, and you know, just a lot of prosperity. I think there's a lot of room for prosperity here for you. We also have the flamingo right here. Okay, so with the flamingo, I always think about the flamingo is a bird that is colored by... Now, I remember saying this in a reading like 6 months ago, and somebody corrected me, and I might be thinking, I forget now. I always thought it was the fish that they eat, but now I'm trying to remember. I think somebody said that it might be the algae that they eat, but I might be wrong about that. Whatever it is, a flamingo is usually kind of white, right? But we think of them as they're pink. And so they are kind of very much colored by the things that they're ingesting, the things that they eat. Now, I don't think that you're going to turn whatever, you know, turn pink if you're eating a lot of like pink Starburst or something, or salmon, I guess salmon. But I really think that this is a time to be very aware of what you're spending your time with, because I think this will really alter how you feel and how you're perceiving the world, right? And my big example for myself, this is my, you know, this is what happens to me personally, maybe not everybody else, but for me, I really like true crime. I really, really like it. I like it so much. I don't like crime, but I like the podcasts and the, you know, some of the shows and things like this, the documentaries and all of that, and the groups online and reading through them and, you know, whatever. But I will tell you, when I spend a lot of time with this, or even a little bit of time, honestly, I start to be way more suspicious of people. I tend to feel like we're just always on the edge of something terrible happening. People all around me, online, in real life, they're probably capable of terrible things, and you know, just this kind of atmosphere of suspicion. You know, and fear, underlying fear too. And so sometimes, I'm not always successful. Sometimes I need to take a break. I definitely do. I have to take a break for some months and get away from all of that. So I'm not thinking about it, you know, and I find that my perception of things does change a bit. Not all the way. I've been into true crime for a long time, so I'm pretty set. But it does. You know, whatever we spend our time with in the immediate, it really does get into how we kind of view things, how we experience the atmosphere. And I'm an atmosphere person too,
right? I have whole different vibes for my rooms, my house within my house, different kinds of smells and different music is, is it on the stereo? Is it playing on the little thing? How loud is it? What does it feel like? And, candles or no candles, and the lighting has to be certain ways, and the whatever time of day the light changes and I feel differently. All these things are they create a feeling of whatever it is, but it really does change how I feel about the world, and maybe that's not how everybody is, but for me, I'm so sensitive to it. And I have to remind myself that. So sometimes, especially when we get into a alignment with the universe, with ourselves, where this comes up, and it's like, yeah, we have to be very mindful about what you're doing, what you're thinking about, what you're, what kind of media you are, taking in. When that happens, we really should, we really should take heed and maybe do the work to set things up for yourself so that you are promoting, kind of more creativity, feeling, more secure, loved, enjoyment, whatever it is, whatever. Another thing I like to talk about in the readings is I always try to make sure that I experience the blue hours of the day. It's right before dawn and right after twilight, right? It's like it's when the sun has gone down enough that everything kind of takes a blue hue. And I like to experience this hour, or it's usually less than an hour, but in the morning or at night or both, if I'm really lucky, and take this time to think, to pray. It really does have such a profoundly holy, spiritual feeling for me personally. I like to be in a quiet place. I like to have the window open enough that it comes through kind of the sheer curtains, and I just like to sit there and kind of look at the wall, the blueness, or look out the window or whatever, and take time for gratitude for the things that I want to think about working on spiritually, and so on. It varies, okay, but this is a time I feel particularly taken into myself, right? And it feels magical. It is a magical time. The golden hour is also very magical, which is it's right at the same time, around the same time. But I really like the blue. So that's, so my point is we need to find spaces where we have these really immersive sensations. They're like doorways, right? They're doorways into different parts of our mind, our spirit, our psyche. And it's important for us to learn how to access those, as individuals, because it's different for everybody. It's like if you have a really, a place you like to go think. Maybe other people think, oh, this is kind of just whatever. It's, another place. But for you, it feels right. So we have to find that kind of stuff. Okay, so we have it looks like a person, but as a bull. So we have maybe a Taurus here. And then we have two people who are in an embrace. And we also have, another cow, okay? So we have kind of the mother, the Hawthorne archetype. We have a Taurus kind of archetype over here. We have, it looks like the sun, okay? And then we have two people in an embrace. So we have some kind of divine union, okay? So what is this exactly? I feel like maybe almost like mother, like a real strong mother figure in your life, archetype, caretaker, not archetype, but they are an archetype, right? But I feel like there was a Taurus person. And I wonder if that was father, like a father figure. And it almost seems like they were a perfect match, or they are a perfect match. I'm saying it in past tense, but maybe it's not, But this one is seated. So the father, I almost wonder if the father has transitioned. But I see the son, and I think it's almost like your parents or your caretakers, somebody who was like a role model, maybe it was your grandparents, but they had such a relationship that was so realistic. It wasn't a put on at all. They went through their seasons together. It was not always perfect. But at the end of the day, it almost seems like they always, found their way back to each other. And I think that really, really left a deep impression on you. Okay? And I feel like maybe you have this relationship. Maybe you're still seeking it. But more importantly, I feel like you have this with yourself. You've learned to love yourself as an individual, because I feel like these people were they were both very strong personalities and people, very individual, but it almost seems like they were always together, like even from a young age. So it's like you think like, oh, okay, well they never had the experience to be their own person, right? They were always married. But the reality is, I think that they had such a dynamic that it's like they were more themselves than most people are as, single people out in the world. Because often I think when you're a single person, not always, of course, you're just wearing different masks all the time. Trying to figure things out for yourself, navigate, and that happens in relationships too. But I think in certain kinds of relationships, there is a support that allows you to grow into yourself many times over. And I think that this was the case. And it just seems like a really beautiful thing. I feel like you think of it as such a privilege and an honor to be able to, be a part of that, to be a product of that. And so, that is a really valuable kind of love, because I think that it gave you a security that a lot of people don't experience in these kind of, in witnessing marriage. But this is a good one. So, let's see. We have the Mary Magdalene Oracle cards by Megan Watterson, illustrations by Moonjube. And I'm going to move you, my friend. And we're just going to flip through here and stop where it feels right. And it says, the anointed, I rise with only more soul. I love these cards. They're so beautiful. I rise with only more soul. Yes, you cannot keep an initiated one down, can you? I'm really going through a Magdalena period in my life right now. I do often though, but I do. I feel her presence, her intelligence in my life, and it is a gorgeous one. All right, so Capricorn, I want to go ahead and say thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And I'm sorry, the cat, she's over there murmuring to herself. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. It is free to subscribe. If you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I read them all. They mean a lot to me. And with that, I will say I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a few days. I'm going to bed now. It's so cold outside. This time of year, I just absolutely get worn out by the cold. I just thought, you just go in and out of the car and you do your chores outside, and it just takes all of the energy out of you. It's just very cold. I'm gonna go bundle up like a little squirrel and fall asleep. So yes, goodbye, good night.